gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog. This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People want to know where Mace, Poss, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, and head, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rocking over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter rock, turn it up, we giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about, space out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, the pass to your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin, subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years, so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We install doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the ground. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. We're leaving the kings of all crowns. Are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, y'all peak the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about, space out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all peak the flow. Are you ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, we giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about, space out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? But can you rock it like rocket fuel?
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did.
Playing skill.
Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist, I never switch, ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, hole in the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, hole in the wrist.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us about 20 miles south of downtown L.A. at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Denver Broncos and our home team. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go. 70, Indy. Mike. Stay with your man. 6'6", pull it high. Crunch. Get it.
They run it for the first time with Tony Pollard, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Run for Pollard. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. Another good carry there for the NFL's second leading rusher, and we've talked on air, off air about his MVP candidacy. Make a case for him.
Well, I'm just going to tell you point blank, it doesn't matter whether he's first or second or even third in the league in rushing yardage. That's not the main deal. It's how he gets those yards and the impact he has on his ball club.
Hey.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. That burst good for 20 and a first down. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 44-yard line.
What? Squeeze. Don't get nervous. Check 43. Sit down.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, the 40. He's at the 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Denver. Short throw, pick six right there, those linebackers. They love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away, take care of it, because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
And if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less design runs like that.
On the ready. Hey, we got to get Greystone, Travis. Let's keep moving. Ready.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Right here. Rush in. 44, Mike, 44. Hey.
Lock to throw on second down. They set up the screen for Henry. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
The quick slant caught, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
I'm here all day. 55.
Second down and goal. Lock, and that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Broncos push further out in front. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you give the defensive touchdown early, give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Go!
45, Mike, 45. Check 26.
Shoot!
Looking to throw. Herbert. Looking deep for Gabriel. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check 25!
Check nickel. Watch out.
Hey, Zoo!
44 is the Mike. Watch the back.
They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
On 2nd and 7. Lock. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chris Jones, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
30 base. Hey, Orbit. 44 to Mike. 44 to Mike. Go. Tight down. There you go. 44, Mike, 44. Hey, wahoo. 44 to Mike, 40 to go.
On 3rd and long, it's Lock. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Chris Jones, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Charger drive about to get going. And they begin this drive in very precarious field position inside their own 5.
And remember, this is a defense that's already scored once in this game, so you've got to really take care and make sure that you're blocking these guys to try and wedge the ball out from the shadow of your own end zone.
Topper! Check, 53's Mike. Check, 53's Mike. Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come out here. Come get some. You're out. He don't want it. On the ball. Mike.
So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And they'll get him down up past the 15. 17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. 1st and 10 at the 18.
Blue draw Corker. Ready.
First down, and it's Pollard again. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one, and a Charger first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Hey, Foxtrot.
Back to throw. Herbert. Buying time to his... And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12.
22 jet bomber. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. Hey, high 7. SOS. 53 to Mike. 53. Check 53. Here we go. 53 to Mike. 53.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. He's going to let this one go deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive.
Mike 22. Watch the screen.
On 3rd down, Herbert. He's got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. And brought down, but not before reaching approaching the 45-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
Here we go. 15, 1. Hey, defense, let's go. Watch the shape. Sam off. Hey, Haywood. Yo, go. Look at me. Go. Let's go.
Throwing on first down. Herbert. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. You talked about the need for them to establish the run early. They've been able to do that here in the first half.
And that means that the whole offense has adopted that attitude and that persona. We're going to take care of this young quarterback. Let's all get together and run it and take the pressure off.
A first red zone opportunity here for the Chargers. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Here's Pollard. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's the 2nd and 7. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Here we go. 8, read. Look, squeeze. Watch that.
On 3rd down, it's Pollard. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
Well, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
On first down, Pollard, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Hey, come on now. Ready?
On second down, it's Pollard. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. You know they'd love nothing more than to get a 3-and-out here after having the interception.
And it also tells you a little bit about how they feel about their leader, right? Their quarterback throws an interception in the previous series. They're trying to help him out here with a big stand.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now here's Pollard, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Taking it in from a yard out as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes it a 14-10 ball game. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's second and 2.
44's the mic. 44's mic. Check. We got to get the ball. Do you get the ball right here?
Now this time Locke will throw. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
10-2 soft. Here we go. Slam. Hey, Alpha. 44's the mic. Watch the screen. Defense.
Throwing his lock on third down. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the second time. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Charger drive about to get going. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And how about this right out of the locker room, an onside kick attempt. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators, they sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I guarantee he's been selling this one. We can get it, Coach, we can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
No gain on the play there, second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10.
You think you won't get this? You think you won't get this? Check 3, check 3, check 3. Hey, check right, check right.
A quick throw out wide to Fuller. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Ready. Come on, guy, 55. Crunch time, defense. Look at me, Zipper. Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55. Watch the run, watch the run. Watch the run. Right up.
From midfield, here's Locke. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Frank Clark racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off, and he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. Snap.
A quick throw out to Hardman on the perimeter. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 11 and a first down, L.A.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
65. Go.
On first down, Herbert. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it second and 12.
Ready? 15 line. 15 line. Go, team. Let's go. Whip, whip. Whip, whip. Watch the whip. General West. 45 to Mike. Hey, get in the weight room. Watch twist. Watch twist. Hey, Delta. Five.
Looking to throw. Herbert. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver, and it's third down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense, great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, and especially against deep balls as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Rock it. Check. Hey, check 20. 45, Mike. Leo. Hey, switch gears.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And he will score. Touchdown, Denver. Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Charger drive about to get going.
Let's put him on the buses. Let's put that team on the buses.
They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Off play action. Herbert being chased, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Hey, check Mike 45. Check Mike 45. Hey, exit. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. 45's the Mike. 45's the Mike. Hey! D-line, get that quarterback, D-line. Deep.
Operating from the gun. Herbert. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up fourth down.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
The Broncos we got this. First and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Henry. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Switch. You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there. Switch. Chance. Get it.
Now Locke throwing on 2nd down. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Locke going to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Check. Check hot route.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on 1st.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Let's go now. 50, plant. 44. Hey, seam 6. Seam 6.
Come on, 44, come on. Check. Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there.
To throw on 3rd down. Lock. Throwing right, and that's complete. The 20, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos push further out in front.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
McManus's point after is good, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Check it out.
Gonna run again here with Pollard. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. It's Charger football, but they trail here as we get going in quarter number 4. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Out. X3. 218. Chopper. Hit it.
Completes it to Hardman. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On 3rd down, Pollard. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Fair. Sponge. No. Hey, Echo. Hey, Sam off. Go.
He's checking crap.
Speed grip.
On fourth down, Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The fourth down play doesn't work for the Chargers. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone.
On the ready.
Mike Fofo. Wild Bill.
Let's go.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run, and just lost track, and it cost him.
So the delay of game penalty moves it back 5. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want it.
On 2nd down, here's Locke. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
18 Gator. Go.
Fofo's the Mike. Mike's Fofo. Let's go, Lamar.
Shoot.
From the gun, it's Locke. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So first down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Hey, Zoo. 80 weapons.
And they're going to take it all the way down and just take the delay. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Can't afford another delay here as they come up again on 2nd and goal. Locke working out of the gun. Quick hitter here. It's complete. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Locke now on 3rd and goal. And it's caught. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos push further out in front. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them.
Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
They'll run with Pollard. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. That good for 19 and a first down. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
Matchbox lights.
Alert three.
Ready.
Now Pollard. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
53 to Mike. 53.
On 2nd down now, Pollard. And he's taken down inside the 30. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Hey, wahoo!
53. 53. Mike. Watch the out. Watch the out. Jim.
Greystone travel.
Back.
They'll run on 1st down. Pollard. The tackle made that time by Bryce Callahan.
And too soft. Hey, Foxtrot.
And we got Mike, number 53. Mike.
On 2nd down, Pollard. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
On 3rd down, Pollard. Oh, he's got a little daylight, and he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Tony Pollard, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chargers, they're able to cut into that deficit. Now the Charger offense will stay on the field as they'll line up to go for the 2-point try.
Rock it.
Check. Crunch.
Get it.
A toss running left. Grant. And he will not make it to the goal line. The defense holds him here. And this is still a 3-score game as the lead remains 18. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now the Chargers will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
Kill. Turn up. Kill. Turn up.
They'll actually throw it with Locke. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you plan to back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Here's Pollard again. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Pollard. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Anthony Lynn says now's the time. His guy's going on 4th down.
Go.
Pick the edge. Come.
Ready?
They'll run forward with Pollard. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Broncos will take over on downs. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. A bit of an opening there on the 1st down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining.
Go now. 18 Gator.
Yeah. You don't want none.
44. Hit it.
Now this time he'll look to throw. He completes it to Henry. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A lot going to throw it here. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. Your defensive guy.